If you want to take your character strength to the next level in Oblivion Remastered or tackle the hardest difficulties, generic weapons and armors that the big channels are telling you about isn't gonna cut it. Enchanting is your ticket to crafting the absolutely most broken, powerful gear in the entire game. You can custom tailor it to your build, whether you're a warrior, mage, a stealth archer. So regardless of your class, understanding how soul gems and enchantments interact is gonna help you a lot in your journey. In this video, I'm gonna break down how the enchantment system works, the secret to getting max tier grand souls at level 1, and how to push your gear beyond standard limits with sigil stones. So starting with the very basics, every enchantment's power is gonna depend on the soul size used to enchant. On the one hand, you have petty souls, which are kind of useless, and then on the other hand, you have grand souls, which have a 1600 capacity and allow you to make the second strongest type of enchantment in the game. So to enchant, you need an enchantment altar, and you can access one at Arcane University by doing the Mages Guild recommendations first, or you can purchase the upgrades from Mystic Emporium for Frostcrag Spire up in the mountains by Bruma. The Spellmaking altar and Enchanting altar together should cost about 6,000 gold, and this is the easiest way to get early access to enchanting. The problem with regular Grand Soul Gems is that in order to actually fill these things with a Grand Soul, you would have to defeat Minotaur Lords or Zivilites, which are enemies that won't even start to spawn until you reach 18 or higher. Fortunately, there are Black Soul Gems. Black Soul Gems can hold the exact same 1600 Grand Soul capacity as a Grand Soul Gem, but with one massive advantage. You can use them to trap humanoid souls, which means bandits, marauders, necromancers, and pretty much any other human enemy you face. Now, because human souls are always Grand Souls, Black Soul Gems are simply much easier to fill, and they're going to be your ticket to getting those powerful enchantments early in the game. You're going to need 3 things to craft Black Soul Gems early on. At least one empty Grand Soul Gem, the Soul Trap spell, which requires Mysticism level 25, and the Necromancer altar. There are 4 Necromancer altars in Cyrodiil: Dark Fissure, Fort Isteris, Fort Lynchal, and Wendelbeck. To create the Black Soul Gem, you're going to need to visit one of these altars on a Shade of the Revenant day, which happens every 8 in-game days, starting on day 1. So that would be day 1, day 9, day 17, etc. On the right day, you should see a red light beaming down from the heavens. Looks quite lovely actually. And so on that day, what you're going to want to do is place an empty Grand Soul Gem inside the altar chest, or multiple Grand Soul Gems if you have multiple ones. Cast the Soul Trap spell directly at the altar, and each cast will convert one empty Grand Soul Gem into a Black Soul Gem. Once you have your Black Soul Gems, go kill any hostile bandit or wizard, ensuring you have Soul Trap active, and boom, you have a Grand Soul filled gem ready for enchanting. Early in the game, to get you started, you can find 2 empty Grand Soul Gems and a full Grand Soul at the lobby of Arcane University. You can also find some empty Grand Soul Gems at Coral Mages Guild in the cabinets, and you can generally buy them as well from all different kinds of stores like the Mystic Emporium in Imperial City, or various NPCs in the local Mages Guilds. Once you hit level 17, an even stronger option unlocks: Transcendent Sigil Stones. So closing Oblivion Gates rewards you with one of these stones, and they offer static enchantments that are often superior to what you can build at a standard enchanting altar with your Black Soul Gems. The other thing that sets these sigil stones apart is that they can give you access to rare effects that you can't get yourself in the regular altars. Good example of this is Resist Magicka for 20%, which is a fantastic buff to reduce the damage that you take from magic dealing enemies. Now, these effects do come at random, so if you wanted to get a very specific effect from your sigil stone, you would have to save before picking it up and keep taking the sigil stone over and over again until you get your desired effect. And so your strategy essentially is using Black Soul Gems early on, then eventually you can make yourself even more powerful with the Transcendent stones. If you finish the main quest line and you close every Oblivion Gate, then that would eliminate your ability to get these, so this is just an incentive to perhaps hold off on doing the main quest until later on. Now, when building weapons at the altar, hit counts matter more than raw damage. So as an example, on Master difficulty, if you put a sword with a 40 point of fire damage enchantment effect, that's going to get slashed down to 6 points of damage on Master difficulty. So in my opinion, some of the strongest enchantments on a weapon you can have using Something as basic as an iron dagger is spells like weakness to fire and weakness to magic. If you put 100% weakness to fire and 100% weakness to magic on an iron dagger for 5 seconds, and you hit an enemy with this 3 or 4 times, then you can follow this up with a single 5-point fireball and make that fireball attack very, very deadly. Generally speaking, the effects that you can achieve through enchanting are less than what you can achieve through custom spells. Now, the underlying mechanics of how you build custom spells at the altar is very similar, but with custom spells you can unlock some types of effects which are not available to you at the enchanting altar. A good example of this is the Paralyze effect, which you can unlock at illusion level 50. Paralysis is an absolute game changer on the harder difficulties, so the fact that you can't get that on a weapon enchantment directly means that making efficient use of the spell-making altar is equally as important as enchanting, if not more. I think the key to beating the game in the harder difficulties is to just make use of the two and have them working well in parallel. Going back to my earlier example of stacking damage with an enchanted dagger, if instead of doing just a dagger you hit an enemy with a weakness to magic spell, and then you hit them again 4 times with a dagger that has weakness to fire and weakness to magic, each dagger hit is going to stack 200% weakness effect instead of 100. So the alternating of weakness stacking between an enchanted weapon and a spell becomes one of the most powerful mechanics that you can learn in the whole game. I'll probably do a separate video on how this weakness stacking stuff works in a little more detail, but for now I hope this helps as a starter guide for enchanting. Let me know your favorite enchanting setup, and I'll see you at the next guide.